Camping has become bigger than ever nowadays, and Mark Breyer, one of the half of the husband and wife team, has some great advice so you don't have to call him. All right, Mark, I'll tell you, it's always great to see you and Alexis's face on TV. It's the husband and wife team. It's the Breyers. And I will say right now, it's definitely great to see your smile because people are starting to get away camping, doing different things, and getting into a little legal trouble because they're not knowing what they're doing when they're having out there camping. And I know I'm getting ready to go do some more camping. I'm so glad we're talking here because there's some things that people need to understand, don't they?
They do, although I have to tell you that there is almost nobody in your vast audience of listeners that thinks they want to see my face more. But I'll still take it. I'll take it. And, it's interesting in doing what I do because when the worst happens, people call us and you start seeing some of the things that none of us really consider. Getting out and getting away, beating the heat, getting out and camping, it really is. It's a great thing. I haven't seen anything that would lead me to discourage it. But to your point, there are some things that are happening that we're getting calls of that are concerning enough that I'm glad the question is being raised because people don't consider when they're going out and they're going a little bit off the road or they're going out to their campsite, the issues of flash flooding, which is, for those of us in the valley, you see it on TV, you don't think it's ever going to be you. And we receive so many calls throughout the year of these unexpected flash floods taking out roads people are on, taking out bridges they're crossing, and it's a very real concern.
Yeah, and I think people have to realize that sometimes they don't look at their policies on their cars or on things that they're renting to go out there with this type of situation with the flash flooding, the ATVs and things, and that's where you guys come in to help people be protected, but also help them get through the legal matters of sometimes.
It is, and it starts with please, to everybody out there, don't need me. Take those precautions of you see a road, it looks like an interesting road, look around. Not always, but often there are signs that warn you of flash floods and people go, it won't happen. Keep your eyes open, know what time of year you're out there. And then, of course, you're right, because a lot of the policies we think, I have insurance, I have full coverage, and I'm all protected. But it may not protect you when you're using a piece of equipment that is not a regular automobile. So the coverage you have may not protect you, and that could be a really big issue if you're even using someone else's equipment that gets somehow broken or damaged or lost. Not lost in terms of you can't find it, but lost in terms of you can't use it. That insurance coverage, you may need me when you don't want to because all of a sudden you may owe a lot of money to somebody.
Yeah, and this is very interesting, and before we started we talked about ATVs, and this is what people don't realize. I know we talk a lot about COVID-19 and everything like that, but there's been more ATV accidents going on this year than in the past because people are getting out there and they think they are just going to be out in the woods doing stuff, and they're seeing kids on these and stuff. So you're saying, again, you got to be safe. You need to follow what's rules and what's going on.
First of all, I don't want to do anything that discourages people from getting out of their house, getting out with family and friends, obviously social distancing and all those things, but camping and outdoor activities is a great opportunity. On the other hand, your ATV, if someone gets hurt, your policy may not cover it. That may not sound like a big deal, and people may go, really does it matter? Well, it matters if someone has to get life flighted from a remote area, and by the time you land at the hospital, you owe $35,000 and you haven't seen the first doctor you're going to see. How are you going to handle those bills? Or someone else is on the ATV with you, and God forbid they get injured. And so these issues are real ones, and they're the types of things that we're getting more calls from, in part because people are getting out, but sometimes not taking the precautions they need or knowing, what insurance will or will not cover.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm so glad we're talking about this because, again, I'm getting ready to do some camping and stuff. I'm going to change gears really quick as we get to wrap up. You said about not needing your law team, but I will say that you are giving back in a great way without the law stuff in the community, and you're still doing that right now. I thought for sure you guys would have to hold back, but you're giving even more out to the community. It's amazing.
It is. First of all, it is a testament to this state, the way they have rallied behind. We just get to be out front. So the thing we're doing the most of, for years, we've been very involved with education. I'm the son of a teacher, the brother of teachers. Education is we have my wife and I have a bunch of kids, Alexis and I do. And so that's always been a big piece. And we've always been able to be involved in really a lot of giving. But right now, there are so many restaurants and restaurant workers in dire need. And so what we've been doing now for really throughout all of COVID is being able to pick restaurants, sometimes 3 or 4 in a week, and saying to members of the community, pick a favorite restaurant, let us know. We show up, we pay half of every single order. But what it takes is the community not just nominating, but also showing up. And we're helping to we have literally, if you can believe this, in the middle of COVID, had many, many restaurants have their best record sales in the history of their restaurant at the time they need it the most. I mean, can you imagine just trying to pay the mortgage right now and make sure your workers keep food on the table? What an incredible community you and I are a part of.
It is, and we thank you for all you're doing. So, okay, people need to find out more information, not just about legal advice, but also how you're giving back in the community. How can they find out?
Husbandandwifelawteam.com, Husband and Wife Law Team on social media. They can't get away from the Husband and Wife Law Team, but here's a chance to be part of the giving that we're doing.
So I appreciate it. Hey, thank you very much, Mark.
Thanks for having us.